Well, thank you so much for being here today. You know, it's not often that I have to encourage a politician to brag a little more about themselves, but please let me do that for this governor. We're here today to talk about an improvement on a retail theft law, and boy, is it going to do great things. But when this governor first got in office, within our first couple of years, we passed a monumental, almost first of its kind legislation to go after organized retail theft that really has been the model for many other states in this nation. It was one of the first of its kind. I think you'll hear a little bit more about that and how over the last few years we have been so successful in Florida. At least for our office, the Office of Attorney General and our statewide prosecutors, we've prosecuted hundreds with a near perfect conviction rate. And that doesn't even include the state attorneys who are working very hard across this state. And so while he won't brag, I want to make sure that folks know that Florida has really set the blueprint for other states by which to measure their own success and progress. And what that means is we are doing what Florida does best. We're being proactive. Just yesterday, sadly, I watched a sheriff in California talk about their governor and the fact that he will not engage with those sheriffs and give them the laws that they need to be better about cracking down on theft and other things, such as illegal drug use and things that are plaguing the quality of life. And he said leaders, good leaders, are proactive. They stay ahead of these problems and these challenges. So I'm so proud to brag on this governor who did that when he first took office and is doing that again today, along with our legislative leaders, by strengthening that law that we passed when we first got into office and adding to that porch piracy. 44% of Americans have had a package stolen from their porch. Just last year, $8 billion was lost in stolen merchandise from porches. And we've seen the videos of flash mobs where they rush stores, distract the clerks, and they're able to just ransack stores. That will not happen in Florida because we are proactive and we lead. And where in some states like California, where you have a governor who hasn't met with sheriffs in 5 years, this governor probably couldn't tell you how many times he has met with individual sheriffs and their associations to say, what are the tools you need so that we in Florida do not have to be run by criminal organizations? That will not happen here. This governor and Florida also understands that you give them the tools, you give them the laws, and then you make sure you back that up by supporting law enforcement and holding prosecutors accountable to enforce those laws. And we have demonstrated time and time again that we're willing to do that here in Florida. Just last week, we launched with the Florida Sheriff's Association and our chamber the 6 things that we see that other states have gotten it wrong. And one of those was decriminalizing crime, to include retail theft to legalizing drugs. We're so proud of this state for showing how that will affect the economic prosperity of cities and states, and how when people leave your state because they don't feel safe and secure, you will lose tax revenue. Doesn't take a genius to figure that out. So where California has lost $340 million in tax revenue, New York has lost $300 million in tax revenue, Florida added $12 billion in tax revenue. And let me just go back to how I started. Florida leads. We don't react. We stay ahead of challenges and problems. We work with our great legislative leaders, our sheriffs like Sheriff Snyder, our great retail partners to get the job done. So you may have heard of the term OG. We have the original OG, the original governor, who knows how to lead and be proactive, and that is what a state needs in an executive leader. Heck, that is what our country needs an executive leader. So Governor DeSantis, thank you so much for keeping Florida, Florida, and us safe and strong and secure.